Good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. We're going to have a really interesting and great show today. We have a couple guests coming on, and I have my wife, Janay. She is co-hosting with me, and the reason that she is co-hosting with me today is because we're going to be talking a little bit about women's fashion later on in the show, and I know nothing about women's fashion.
We hope you don't.
Yeah. So welcome. Our first guest is Brittni Gutman. Welcome.
Hi there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you for having me.
So
I appreciate it.
You're telling us that you've already had an interesting morning.
Yes, sir.
Nothing insurance related.
No. It's an interesting life that I lead.
You rescued a goat this morning?
Yes, sir. So aside from being an insurance agent, I moonlight as an off-grid hobby rancher.
Okay.
And so this morning we had a goat interaction.
A goat interaction?
Yes.
I don't think we've ever had goat interaction on the show yet. So
It's definitely something that I can enter a room and confidently say that I'm the only person who probably has done that today.
But isn't it just one goat that you have? I mean, you have horses too, right?
I do. Yeah. We actually, we purchased an old donkey sanctuary. And
wow.
Yeah. And so we actually have 6 donkeys, a longhorn bull, and
Wow.
a couple horses, plenty of goats.
We'll go back to the goat story though.
Yeah. Well, it's kidding season. So the goats are being born and, it can be a pretty exciting time, but you definitely have to act fast because the baby goats shouldn't be with the herd of larger goats. So when the babies are born, we get the babies, and then we bring the mom to what we call the nursery, and then they are there for 6 weeks before we reintroduce them back to the herd.
Oh, cool. What made you guys purchase a sanctuary?
Yeah, well, it's also off grid, which is pretty cool. So we're totally self-sufficient, and that was part of the attraction. And having land, having some space, to be able to spread out. And then growing up, my mom always called me Ellie Mae Clampett from the Green Acres show, and so I just feel like I've just kind of been leaning into that. And we have a couple potbelly pigs that I've rescued. We have one horse that is definitely a rescue. We have a donkey that is going to need lifetime care. So it's kind of I call it a hobby ranch because we have purpose. There's definitely a goal, but we're definitely happy to take in any stragglers. And we partner with the Pima Animal Care Center and their working cat program. Mm-hmm. So we have 23 working cats on our property. Outside, they all are part of the feral cat program.
Okay.
So yeah.
When you said working cat, right? What does that mean?
It means that they can't be domesticated, and unfortunately, a lot of those cats will be euthanized. So we take them in and allow them to be feral, and we feed them and we water them, and in exchange, we have a very low rodent population and a very low snake population.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they are protected by a slew of livestock guardian dogs. So we have a really cool ecosystem. And last time we did a count, and it's grown since, we're at like 111 animals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I woke up this morning anxious to come here, and I walk out to, let my dog outside, and a couple of my dogs dug up my garden, and then I hear a baby goat on the, crying, so I run down there. Mind you, I'm still in my robe, okay? And then I have to log in and, send ID cards and stuff to people for their insurance.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because you're not just a full-time animal sanctuary. That's not the only thing that you do. You have to do something to feed your family.
Yeah. Fortunately,
The animal sanctuary, right?
Yeah, right. Or to feed the animal sanctuary.
yes, which is quite costly. But fortunately, God put me on the path to insurance at a very young age. I started, just around the corner here almost 20 years ago, and I stayed in my career, and it's been such a blessing to me. We've 4.5 years ago, I was blessed to purchase a very good book of business, and I've built a really amazing team, and we've really built a Brittni brand, and I'm proud of it, and and it helps fuel these other dreams, that we're pursuing as far as donkeys.
Well, when you say a Brittni brand, so you're instilling a culture in your business.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I believe, and I think we're kindred spirits in that way. The way you guys operate your business. My employees they're so valuable to me, and they're a direct reflection of me. And in fact, I've gotten to the point in my career where I'm like, they're smarter than me. Like I don't want to learn that new thing.
The new technology or the new, yeah.
I really want to, I feel that my career has taken so many different turns over it. And right now I'm in this really neat place where I feel like I'm building, I'm creating, I'm leading really great human beings into their own path. And I love that that's where, where my business has kind of morphed. Don't get me wrong. I love insurance. Yesterday, I received a really awful call from, one of my, I have to say, one of my favorite clients, and I'm not saying that, but he passed. And, so we sit down and we'll do, a full review. And I love doing that piece too. There's definitely, it's innate in me, that's never going to leave. But I really enjoy creating this as a career for younger women like me,
Right.
Yeah. So our team has grown, and yeah, we're really proud. Like you said, the culture, it's a part of our core values. We don't just have a value and a mission statement. We go over it in our meetings. It's not something that we just talk about. It's something that we do, and I lead from the front in that. I think you're much the same, Ron. And I always tell my employees, I'll never ask you to do something that I haven't done myself or wouldn't do.
Of course, yeah. And as business owners, we take responsibility for that person's well-being and that person, being able to provide for their family. So, that's something serious when you hire someone on. You're bringing them on as part of the team, but you also know that, they're there to provide for their family. So it's a big responsibility on our shoulders also.
Yeah, sometimes it'll keep you up at night, Yeah. I don't just look at my office manager's, 2-year-old little girl. I see like she's getting a $4,000 commission check, and that little girl's going to be going to some great school or, whatever.
Right.
It's definitely breathing life into her. And she gets to watch mommy work really hard and do really well in her career. And we've been blessed to be able to have her be a stay-at-home mom and lead my team and manage. And she does so well, and that's one thing I've learned, and you've probably learned too, is just surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you and that shine in different areas of light than you do.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And if you can find employees that have strengths in other areas than you do, and then you can have a fully rounded team.
Yeah. I always joke, my office manager, she gets giddy about like an Excel spreadsheet. And I'm like, just put me with the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm belly to belly, and I'm better that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the insurance agency. I love the insurance world, and I do believe that every insurance agent is different. Even here locally. Back to the Brittni brand. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I think it's something to be said when you've been doing business in town for 20 years, and I don't hang my head in any room that I walk in. I'm very proud of the work that we do, and sometimes that means a client is a client for a short amount of time, and but they'll come back because that's the brand that we've created.
Right. Right. And it's the customer service.
Yeah, we laminate people's ID cards.
Yeah.
Simple things,
Right.
I do believe in just small gestures, small acts of kindness. We're big into handwritten thank you cards. I don't know if that's just because that's my love language, and I like to put that out in the world. But we really do treat everybody like their family.
Right.
I think 5 years ago I had to create a slogan for my business, and it says "Your family now," and I was like, that's weird that I chose that, but I suppose it makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about why it's so important to have that local advocate as your insurance agent instead of just dialing 1-800-INSURANCE and getting the lowest rate or whatever.
Yeah, that's a really great question, and I think that both serve a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying that there's a generation of people that don't want a people. There's a whole demographic of humans that I probably don't even want to do business with. To be very honest with you, they're not my ideal client.
Sure.
We want to engage with you. We want you to see the value in having a human being, as your agent. And there are some folks that, would rather deal with, just the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. I'm really proud to be associated with a brand that tries to diversify so that we can align to all of those people. I've been with Allstate for most of my 20-year career, and we've been very dynamic in the audience that we try to attract.
Right.
I believe that what is important to the consumer is really, we'll cater to all of it. If you just need an insurance policy, sure, call my office. We don't have to bother you. That's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a very volatile time in insurance. There's a lot of catastrophes that have been happening nationwide.
Right. And it affects all of us.
1,000%. Yeah, you're seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
and not even to mention, what's happening right now or what is to come with, cost of materials and things like that. But, I advocate for my clients. There are some times where we have a home that's in a risky area, and maybe the fire department access can't get there in the time that we would really like for them to be there from an insurance rating without getting too in the weeds, and I go boots on the ground and I'm pointing out trees to my clients like, hey, we need this one fixed, or hey, we need the eaves painted, or,
try to do a little risk management, right?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, some people, they have an agent, maybe their agent is local, and maybe they're just not as involved or engaged as I am. But I've overturned claims decisions. I've overturned, denials of coverage. I've overturned cancellations of high risk properties just because I get involved, and we go and we mitigate the risk with the client, and I think that there's a big appreciation for that too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that when you just dial a 1-800 number and then things happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all have to deal with 1-800 numbers, and sometimes I'm a huge advocate for hang up and call back and see if you can get someone else to give you the answer that you want, So I think there's pros and cons to both for sure. Yeah.
I think if you're a customer that's just looking for the price and not the customer service, and of course, the 1-800 number serves its purpose. But like you said, if you go to a property and you're like, hey, you need to clean the property up, there's fire risk, there's liability risk, there's some different things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just helping the customer out.
Yeah. We've actually gone into like Saddlebrook HOAs and tried to get fire department involvement. Sometimes there's counties, I try to get involved even further than just an agency, just a local agent trying to help their client. If we can, make changes in certain areas. For example, the fire department is kind of a big one that we're seeing, especially against those the Push Mountains there.
Right.
All that Saddlebrook area.
After they had those huge fires like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yep,
Yeah.
that one. And then there was another one down in Globe or, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And just last year on the 79, there were 2 fires. And some counties handle, you know, things a little bit better than others.
Right.
And so just trying to even get to, you know, to the political level of like, hey, can we get what involvement, how many fire department are we going to be able to have advocate if Saddlebrook, you know, catches fire, right? Yeah. Golden Ranch can't handle that alone, right? So just infrastructure and mitigating risks. So we try to do it on a small scale, and I do definitely advocate on a larger scale if we can, for sure.
Cool. Well, with that, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to tractucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor, talking with Brittni Gutman. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today.
Yes, thanks again for having me.
So, Brittni, we've both been in business for quite some time, probably over 2 decades, and with that comes challenges. So, as a woman, can you share with us, what are the rewards that you're finding, being in business as a woman entrepreneur, and what are the challenges?
Yes, that's a great question. I do recall 20 years ago starting my career in insurance, especially when discussing life insurance and financials. That was kind of untouched by women in the industry, 20 years ago. Financials were definitely, a man's playing field. And so that was challenging for me to overcome, having some pretty heavy conversations with older generations that really appreciated a male, opinion. And it's oddly enough, funny thing, there's this power thing where if your chair is higher than someone else's chair, then, there's like a power dynamic.
Really? Yeah.
And I always had these,
Never thought of that.
I know, to this day, I lower my chair when I'm trying to have conversation because I just want an equal playing field, and it's usually the older veteran, elderly men that are like, hey,
Yeah, right.
I see what you're doing here, And I think as far as rewards go, that was just one challenging. Entrepreneurship in itself is rewarding and challenging daily in different things. I think that's probably one of my favorite things is just like I mentioned earlier, how dynamic it is and how different each year is and kind of my purpose changes a little bit. But I think something that I've really enjoyed that is very rewarding is watching my employees level up, watching them buy houses and cars and have kids and, get married.
Improve their life.
Yeah. And there is a little ego in me that's like, because of their success, because of our success, I'm breathing life into them and I'm showing them that it's possible and that, you can save a goat in the morning and then go and be an insurance agent in the afternoon.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Tell us a little bit about, because you're in the community all over the place and you do a lot of things with nonprofits.
Yeah, I currently serve on the board for Power Over Predators.
Okay.
Yep, and that has been a passion project. Lisa Hansen is a very dear friend of mine, and I'm very proud to say that we were able to make some connections with the Department of Education of the state of Arizona with Mr. Horn, and we were actually able to get Power Over Predators education into the Marana Unified School District.
Oh, cool.
That was something that we accomplished last year, which I'm very proud to say that I was a part of getting that done. And, just really trying to spread awareness, again, from a pretty genuine and authentic way. Unfortunately, the words of that particular nonprofit get blocked. We're not able to spread awareness as much as we'd like to.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just words like that, like predator, and it just gets kind of swept. And so we have another extension called Mothers Against Child Exploitation. And the Mace Moms is really awesome. It's $12 a year to just promote and get the education out there. So schools and churches are really where the word needs to be spread more.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And dads too, it's not just moms that we want involved, definitely dads as well.
Yeah. Well, it's such a scary world because a child can disappear onto social media and be talking to someone, around the world or someone just down the street that's pretending to be another, a 12-year-old girl. And really it's a 50-year-old dude that's trying to do harm to them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, you have to be careful, who you talk to about it. Some people are really triggered by the conversation in general. What I've found is that, it's very much a head in the sand type of thing. A lot of people think, well, my home's good. My kids are good. My kids know. Yeah. But the reality is, it is happening right in our backyard.
Yeah.
And Marana Unified School District just had, a situation, and thank God it was brought to light very quickly. But these children are naive, and there's too much of the World Wide Web that is accessible. I'm grateful for dial-up internet. I'm really grateful.
Right.
That's true. I didn't think about that part. Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we had our own bullets we needed to dodge,
We did, but we didn't have all the access to all that stuff. The internet can be a great tool, but it can also be a really dangerous place.
Yeah, it absolutely can. So absolutely proud of the work that we're doing, to talk about it. And we do a lot of partnering, with other nonprofits. The Freedom Warriors is another one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done some collaboration with them. So absolutely. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah. Well, Brittni, tell us how people can get a hold of you if they need a consultation, if they have some questions about their insurance, maybe they want a review or something.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can be found online, Brittni Gutman, Allstate. I can also be found on Oracle and El Conquistador is my office. And our phone number is 520-797-7811. Or I can be emailed at bgutman@allstate.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thanks, Janay. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for
Yep.
having me.
All right. We will be right back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to TRACTucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. You can catch us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. And today, our second guest is Veronica Norzagaray.
Norzagaray, yes.
And you own True Me Inspire Boutique.
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and meet your lovely wife, Janay. I'm retired military, so I spent 24 years. So
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. This is my fun retired job.
Okay.
So it's a little bit, it's not very full-time, although some days it feels like it can be.
Yeah.
But I'm, Tucson native. I graduated from Sunnyside High School. I actually joined the Air National Guard. I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's a reserve component of the Air Force.
Right.
So I joined the Air National Guard right out of high school. So did my 24 years, raised 4 babies on my own. So I have 4 baby adults now.
Wow, okay.
So now I literally get to do something fun that I enjoy doing, that I wake up every morning and think, how can I grow my business? What can I do? How can I support the community? How can I go meet wonderful, fabulous women? And it's just been an amazing experience.
Wow. And how did you get into it?
It's so funny. I don't know. I knew I wanted to do something I loved. I knew I did not want to go to work a 9 to 5. I knew I was too young to completely retire. And I've always loved fashion. I mean, I did a color analysis for a girl yesterday from the military that I knew. And I told her that I always get asked, how do you go from military to boutique? She's like, that's always been you. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of, I was the girl who wore my makeup at the fitness test, like full face makeup all the time. I was the girl who you have to have your hair above your collar.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Your hair above your collar in your uniform. So I used to have a French twist and I'd curl my hair so
I
you'd
love
have
it.
like the curly hair. I would break the rules. You could only have like a black purse, or I think it was black or navy blue maybe. And I would have like a purse completely out of rags. I just always had that little extra sense of fashion, I guess, that I just always
just
pushing.
something original.
Something
set
fun.
you apart.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's always just kind of been something I've really enjoyed.
Okay. I'm sure Janay has some questions.
Well, I was thinking about this, on the way over here, and I've heard the saying, "What you wear is it reflects who you are."
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm sitting here listening to the whole boutique idea, I'm sure you can go into a little bit more depth about that, and then I want to talk about the hair part too.
The hair part.
Yeah.
So yeah, they say it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. So I think it really is important on what you wear. I've done a few, speaking engagements where we talk about dress for success.
Right.
And it's always very important. It's not, you don't have to dress very trendy or stylish or anything, but you just want to make sure your clothing fits properly and your clothing is pressed, ironed. And make sure it's if you're wearing a blazer, make sure the blazer fits properly. Make sure you get your stuff tailored, your pants are tailored, hemmed. So that is a really big, important thing. And I think dressing for your body type too. A lot of women, I think, are very, I don't want to say insecure, but we're just we don't have the confidence that we need when it comes to getting dressed. And that's one thing I do love when women come in, specifically for a color analysis, because women who come shopping to me know that they know what I have and know what they want to buy. But women that come in for a color analysis, we do a styling session afterwards. And I have them try on different things that are so out of their comfort zone. But once they put it on and they look at, just this something completely out of their comfort zone, they'll put it on and they love it. And that is like such a confidence booster. And I think we need more of that, just to kind of be more open-minded and try on different things. But know what, is flattering to our body type, because not everybody can wear everything.
Right.
Right. I think it comes with age, though, as far as the confidence, though, because I'm seeing that the younger generation struggles with that more so than, people like, say, for somebody like me in our 50s. Because by the time you're hitting your 40s and 50s, you're getting to the point where you're like, I really don't care. Yeah.
Well, we're just comfortable in our own skin, I think.
I think so, too.
Just talking about, being older and
not really caring too
in.
much about, what people think. But I do agree with what she's saying. What you wear and how you carry yourself is important, especially with women in business. Because if you're, I was talking to my mom, because I take her to a lot of her doctor's appointments, and I see this a lot in healthcare where the front desk individuals that are, I look at those people are like their brand ambassadors, and those people look like they've just rolled out of bed.
Oh, that's the worst.
Didn't pay any attention to the hair or the makeup or anything like that. And I'm like, that just baffles me. It baffles me that, well, one, you're not dressing for success for the doctor that you're working for, or even or whatever. And the fact that it's not being addressed, because I see it every single day, seemingly.
And I think that's a Tucson thing. I think it's very casual because they're trying to keep employees and they want them to be comfortable and casual. But I think we do need to change the culture where you do dress for success. At the same time, I think women who are dressed more feminine are not taken as seriously because they they don't think they're intelligent. If there's an attractive woman and she's dressed feminine, and something that's fitted to her body, they don't take her seriously. I feel like they do think she's not as intelligent as somebody who's dressed down a little bit and not pays as much attention to their physical appearance.
Do you think that has changed a little bit more for the better for women in the past several years? Or, I mean, definitely there's that stereotype, 20, 30, 50 years ago.
I don't know, because I haven't been in like the corporate world ever. Like my experience was in the military.
Right.
However, in the military, I worked for some commanders who, probably were not on their best behavior because of my looks. And I even had a commander tell me one time specifically that I was going to have to work harder than everyone else because I was a woman and I was attractive and I had to prove myself. So, I mean, and that's, we're wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. And it's just, I do the makeup, I do the hair. It's just, I think you're not taken as seriously because of when you make that extra effort to look just feminine.
Right. That's terrible.
It is.
It is because, I mean, you should be judged. If you're doing a job, you should be judged on the job that you're doing, you know, your skills and everything.
Right. And then back to the confidence thing with the younger girls, I feel like I've gained so much more confidence as I've gotten older, whereas when I was in my 20s, I had
It
zero.
wasn't there.
Yeah, no. And I think it had a lot to do with like my upbringing. My mom didn't get all dressed up or do much or anything. But I have 3 daughters. And I have to tell you, their confidence is insane. Like these girls walk into a room, they own it. They have so much confidence. I'm like, when I was your age, I was not that kid.
So do you think maybe it was a generational thing?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Or culturally too, because I talk to a lot of women too, some clients that come in, and they will always say like, my mom never taught me how to do my makeup. My mom didn't teach me like what styles look best on me. So I think culturally, it does have a lot to do with the generation and the culture.
Going back to the color analysis, though, can you go a little bit more in depth with that? Because I haven't heard about color analysis until I think I was like 21. Somebody actually did one on me.
Oh, nice.
And they called me Winter.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, stay away from the pastels because it'll wash you out, especially yellow. And I'm like, oh, I like yellow. Yeah. What can women expect, you know, when they're going into your boutique, and what's this color analysis that you're talking about?
So first off, winter is such a great season to have because you can wear blue. And a lot of the other seasons can't wear blue. So winter is a great season. When we do a color analysis, we sit down and we go over just the different tones. Like, what looks better on you versus light or dark, a bright color, lighter color, and then the contrast. And we go over like these drapes that'll just help identify. And the funny thing is, it's like such a science thing because you can instantly see a woman's face, or a person, whoever's sitting on my chair, you can see their face like instantly change with the right colors. Like they either get really dull and their face looks very gray and bluish if they're wearing something that's not flattering, or their face will glow like they're like they've been out in the sun, or like even if they have makeup on. I mean, their complexion just looks smooth and it just brings like this harmony to your face. So
It's
really
harmony.
does.
I like that word, harmony.
Yes,
to your
it makes
face.
such a huge difference. You'd be surprised.
So some of the factors, is it skin tone, eye color, hair color, just all of that
It's
kind
all
of
of
put
that.
together?
It's your undertone, and then your hair color. We try to like have everybody wear their hair back so that the hair, because we color our hair, a lot of us do. So we want to make sure that's not making like any impact on the color analysis. And also, when I have my clients come in, I make them take off their makeup.
Oh.
So they show up with no makeup, a white shirt, because that just helps identify the color analysis. It just makes it so much easier to identify the right season for them.
Yeah, that's true. That for video cameras and regular cameras, especially the digital cameras, you white balance everything, and that way you can get the proper colors in there. So I think that's kind of the same science.
And I recently did a headshot, and when she gave me my proofs, one of them I was wearing a black shirt, which black is not my color, and another one I was wearing a pink blazer. And you can actually see on her camera just the difference in my skin tone from the black to the pink.
So when you say pink, it was like a bright pink for you, or
It was a bright pink. I think I'm a warm spring, so I'm more spring. So orange is like my definite, like my
see
best
that.
color. And blue just totally dulls me out. Blues and blacks and grays are not friendly to me.
So when you wear some of those colors that aren't your colors, do they make you feel a little bit different? And like when you look in the mirror when you're getting ready and you're like, oh, this really isn't my color. Does it change your mood a little bit?
Yeah, I take it off. I actually, because I have the boutique, I had some clothing come in, and there were some blue dresses, and they're beautiful and they're gorgeous. But I put them on, and I don't feel like that vibrant feel I should get when I put a new dress on. So I know blue for sure is just not my color, and I love it so much. But my daughter's a cool season, so I have her come in and put on the dress, and then we just take pictures or video of her.
Okay.
But And it really helps with women who don't like doing a lot of makeup. Like I do a full face of makeup, so I can almost get away with more. But women who don't wear a lot of makeup and want to be more natural, it's such a game changer for them because their face just instantly, like I said, brings harmony to their face and then just gives them a glow where they're it just makes them look so much better. It's so hard to explain, but it's so it's obvious once you do it.
Yeah, and you've mentioned a lot of times, and it's an old saying, dress for success.
Right.
And I know that was probably derived from like a man in a full business suit, but I mean it completely, is what you're doing right now.
Right, for women. I mean for everyone. It's so important. Even the younger kids. We went to Pueblo High School the other day, and we're telling the kids, like, if you go for an interview, you don't have to wear a suit and tie. But if you're wearing a T-shirt, make sure you didn't leave it in the dryer for 3 days and pull it out.
Right.
Make sure it's clean, it's pressed, comb your hair. It has so much to do. It's more than just the clothing. It is your hygiene is so important. I think that was another thing I heard a lot of employers, I guess, complain about was that these kids will come to interviews and they're not even showered. They don't comb their hair.
They just rolled out of bed.
Yes, they just rolled out of bed. So I think we just need to educate the kids now too. And it's not just the kids. I mean, it's adults too, but it's really important to start them when they're young.
It is. With that, let's take a quick sponsor break. We will be back with Southwest Flavor in just a couple minutes.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to TRACTucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
All right, welcome back to Southwest Flavor. You were talking about not just the clothes, but also the hair and the makeup is so important. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So when we do the color analysis, we go over which hair colors would be more appropriate if you decide to color your hair, because a lot of us do color our hair. And what I tend to tell people is you want to go 2 shades lighter or darker if you're doing the whole hair overall, or 4 shades if you're doing highlights, but never more, because then it's just not going to be as pleasing, or it's not going to bring that harmony to your face. So it's very important, and as well as makeup. So makeup, the funny thing is, I actually had my color analysis done, and I changed my hair color and my makeup to be to be in, what's the word I'm looking for, to just apply it to my color analysis.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had, I want to say 5 different people on completely separate occasions, or 3 different people on completely separate occasions tell me that I took 5 years off my face. Just
Oh my
from
goodness.
changing my hair color and my
Oh.
makeup. Isn't
Oh,
that
wow.
insane? I think
Wow.
my makeup was very harsh before, so it aged me. And the colors I was using were just not pleasing to my undertones. So yeah, makeup, huge difference. So when we do the color analysis, we go over hair, we go over makeup tips, and I even do like lipstick samples so people can see how they look on them. And then they get a whole guide, so an ebook to help them when they go shopping, or if they want to buy makeup or go to their hairstylist, they can tell them exactly which colors would look best on them.
So as you go throughout your life, as you age, should you have color analysis like every maybe like 5 or 10 years?
You know, that's a
Same
great
thing.
question.
I'm like, I need to go see her.
That's a great question. I think I don't know if our undertone changes, but for sure
Skin does.
our skin changes and our hair changes. Like
Yeah.
you could have, been very dark when you were younger, and now you're very light hair,
Yeah.
gray hair. So I don't think it's a bad idea. And not only that, I want to say back in the 80s when the color analysis first started, I want to say there was only maybe 6 seasons, or maybe even 4 seasons, because it was winter, autumn, fall. Spring and summer. And now there's 12 seasons.
Oh.
So there's the 4 seasons, and underneath you have like 3 sub-seasons.
Okay.
So I think technology changes, and the way they, the color analysis, the whole science method,
Right.
it improves. And so, yeah, I think you should probably get it done every maybe 5 to 10 years.
Right. And it might help your confidence also, just
Yeah,
having it done
a
every
little
5 or
booster.
10 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Let alone your career.
I always say headshots. If you are going to do a headshot, I highly recommend a color analysis, because if it's on your business card, you're going to have those cards. Like, you're going to hand them out to people all the time.
Right.
Or if you're a public speaker, if you do a lot of, you're on stage a lot, you do public speaking a lot, or you're just in front of a crowd a lot, you want to get a color analysis so that you just present yourself in the best way possible.
Yeah, that sounds good. You talked about earlier that you're retired military. How did the military help you prepare for this next stage of your life?
So I think I was an admin, and you do a lot of, computer work, right? You're just a lot of computer work, a lot of organizational skills. I even did some, a little bit of financial stuff in the military. So all that has really helped me to be more organized.
Okay.
So learning how to create a plan, know how to like what I'm going to buy, what season, how to do my research. Research is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you start your own business, you can't really just go to another boutique and be like, hey, how do you do this?
Right.
You have to do a lot of research. So just reading and learning and applying everything. I think the military just helped me be really organized, really good with my time management, really good at prioritizing like what's most important and getting that done, and just setting a schedule and setting boundaries. And I'm very disciplined. I'm sure the military has helped me with that.
Right. Yes.
Just being disciplined to know, how much risk you want to take and where you want to put yourself and what's important to you. So definitely, I don't think I would be as prepared to start my own business without the military.
Right.
I think, across the board, if you are going to start a business, even, whether you're young or our age, discipline is the number one
Yes.
or trait you should have,
Right.
you should be carrying. Yeah. So, you did mention during the break that the military is your like sustenance, so to speak, and the boutique is, like the fun part, and I gotta find something fun to do. She's inspiring me already.
Yay.
But what's the reward, with I kind of feel like you're going to say confidence. You're building people's confidence. Maybe even teaching them about confidence. Is that something that you do as well?
It's funny because when I started the boutique, it was for me. It was for me because I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to go shopping. I just, love clothing, right? So it was just a very expensive hobby. But the more that I started doing it, the more clients I met. It's really turned into how can I help women, like you said, build their confidence, be more open-minded, help them find their strength and be feminine at the same time. Because I think that's like my biggest thing. Like I want women to feel empowered and look beautiful and feel like strong, beautiful women all the time. I don't want somebody to feel like they have to dress down to be taken seriously. I think that's like my biggest thing on the boutique. And there's nothing wrong with, wearing pink. I mean, you can wear pink and still be powerful. You don't have to wear a gray suit all the time. Just own it. And I think we just need to change the culture. So yeah, having women come in and helping them just find something that is very flattering to their body type and helping them walk out feeling so strong, so confident, beautiful, feminine, empowered. Like, I love all of that. But it's more also like the community involvement, like going out and just meeting other women who are doing powerful things within the community. And like, how can we work together to empower other women? How can we collaborate? Like, what can we do? What rooms do we need to get in to help these, like even the younger kids in high school?
Right.
I reached out to a couple organizations saying, if your kids need graduation dresses, I would love to donate because I want, like, how can I help? How can I give back?
Right.
I think now's the time in my life where I'm like ready to do what I can to give back and enjoy life. It's like, it's fun. It's fun and it's rewarding at the same time.
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about your daughters, how confident they are and they walk into the room and they own it. And that's great. I mean, we need strong, confident women.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. They're young. I mean, my youngest just turned 19 and, I have a 22 and 23-year-old, soon to be 22. But yeah, I'm sure it has a lot to do with being raised by a single mom. You have to be strong all the time. But they're just their own strong, independent Latino women.
Honestly, I think it's because they got that from just watching you.
And maybe I'm just so proud of them. I mean, all my kids, my son too, he's amazing. And it's just so different to see how I grew up, to see how my kids are in that confidence level.
Yeah, my mom was a single parent, and she raised both my sister and myself, of course. And I often, contribute to my confidence to the fact of just watching her and learning from her. And she would always be the person to tell me, you have to dress for success.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and she would even dress up to go to a doctor's appointment. To this day, she dresses up to go to a doctor's appointment because she'll tell you they'll treat you different if, yes.
I say that all the time.
They'll treat you different if you look decent. If you go in there looking, and I'm like, but you're sick, you're not feeling good. And she's like, nope.
That she is 100% right. We talk about that all the time. Like, people just treat you differently. Anywhere you go, you're dressed up and you look like you care about yourself. Yeah. Other people are going to care about you too.
It probably drives you crazy to go into Walmart and see
it does.
people in their pajamas,
I don't go to Walmart.
I know it does for me. Yeah.
No, and it's funny because when my kids were little, I wouldn't take them out if they didn't have their hair combed or if they wore something. I'm like, you're not leaving the house with me looking like that. You can go change or you can stay home, but you're not going to be walking next to me. And also when they were younger, I remember them telling me, because I always, if I was not in uniform, I was in heels or something dressy. And if I were to leave my house in sandals or sneakers, my kids would be like, Mom, you're leaving the house dressed like that? Like, why? So we've always set the expectation, I think, in my house to always look your best.
So do you have an event coming up that you want to talk about?
We do, actually. We have an open house.
Okay.
It's going to be May 9th. And it's going to be probably my biggest sale I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
It's spend more, save more.
Okay.
So, you spend $100, you save 10%, $200, 20%, all the way up to $500 and up. It's going to be 50% off.
Wow. Okay.
So that is going to be my biggest sale. It's, Mother's Day weekend. So if you guys, you share with everybody. We have open houses like once a quarter, and they're so much fun because it's a community. So we have our regulars, and they sit there and they drink their Prosecco, and they are girl team, and they will, you walk out of our little fitting room, and this is in my house. It's it's 600 square feet. But we have a little sitting area, and the ladies are just amazing. They will drink their Prosecco, and they're like, yes, girl, that looks fabulous on you, or no, girl, don't wear that.
Oh, wow.
It's just such a good time. So it's on Friday, May 9th at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll stay till about 7-ish, but, I'm very flexible. So if somebody needs to come a little earlier or come a little later, I'm very, very flexible.
Okay. And how do they get a hold of you, or how do they find out about that?
So I'm on all social media platforms,
Okay.
True Me Inspire. And if they message me in RSVP, I'll send them the address. But we're located in Oro Valley. It's Tangerine and La Cañada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's and it's just such a good time.
Yeah.
Even if you don't come shop, just come hang out.
It almost sounds like community building, between the women, just
It is,
to have a
yeah.
good time and just be with like-minded people.
Yeah, it's such a good time. It's just, like I said, we have our regular shoppers that just will be there from 3 o'clock till like from open to close, and they will hang out. I'm very serious. It's just such a
Really?
good time. They'll stay there, and they always try to include other women in the community that have like businesses. So we're going to have, let me think. I'm going to have my friend Cindy, who does Ruby Ribbon, which is shapewear. Totally love her stuff. And then my daughter Sammy just started selling Mary Kay.
Ah, okay.
So she'll be with her Mary Kay stuff. And then I'm trying to get, I want to say, one more for permanent jewelry. Usually I reach out to this young girl who just, she's like in her 20s, super young, and she has her own business to do permanent jewelry. These are from her. And if I can bring in other women, local business owners, I always try to do that.
All right. Well, very good. Tell us one more time how people can get a hold of you.
So I'm on all social media platforms on True Me Inspired,
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can also see my website at truemeinspired.com and message me on all the social medias. And my phone number is 520-309-0456 if anybody wants to reach out to schedule an appointment.
All right. Perfect. And that's your big event is May 9th. It's a Friday from 3 to 7.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on today.
Thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
You too.
All right. That's another episode of Southwest Flavor. You can check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., and we will see you on Thursday.